set for the third game of this weekend set between the Pirates and the St. Louis Cardinals. Hi again, everybody. Along with John Wehner, I'm Tim Neverett. Pirates have lost the first two games to the Cardinals, hoping to take game three here today. But last night, a game changer in the first inning, and it was nothing any of the players did. It was a very strange set of circumstances surrounding the infield fly rule.
Yeah, and the infield fly rule usually is a pretty obvious call. The ball's popped up, there's runners on first and second, or the base is loaded. Umpire yells it's infield fly rule. He puts his hand up, batter's out. So the batter is out. Garrett Jones is out. Well, now the ball is dropped. Garrett Jones is still out. The throw is the second. It's not a force play, but you can see right there, Everett, the umpire, calls Neil Walker out, and then he goes past the back, then he tags him, and he calls him safe. Now everybody's just standing there, and for whatever reason, the umpire, Mike Everett, he walks in, and all of a sudden he calls Neil Walker out again. And that's not the case because, the force play, there is no force play at second base once the infield fly rolls on. But they have to tag Neil Walker out. Everett there messed up. There was a lot of confusion. I think the runners didn't know it was the infield fly roll from the get-go. But you see it right there. Mike Everett called him out. Well, he calls him out. Well, he's going to go past the bag. He didn't tag him in time when he went back. Anyhow, there was a long discussion. John Russell come out. He talks to Tim McClellan. McClellan says that, he called the infield fly roll. Well, that's fine. It's the infield fly roll. But, once the infield fly roll is called, there is no force play at second base. And so the umpires messed it up. It should have been second and third and 2 outs.
Absolutely. And that would have changed the game at that point in time because the Pirates would have had 2 men in scoring position. But it wasn't to be the case. Well, on to the better part. Jeff Clement back up from AAA and worked on his swing, and it paid off in the 8th inning as he came on as a pinch hitter.
And when you go down to the minor leagues, you kind of clear your head, you work on your mechanics, you relax a little bit. It has to be a good feeling for Jeff to come up, get one at bat, get a fastball out over and clobber it. He has so much power. He crushed it, and almost Albert Pujols likes, who also went deep last night.
Yeah, Albert does what Albert does, and he went to the opposite field for his 24th home run of the year. And Albert Pujols has been just awesome against the Pirates. A .370 career average with 41 home runs and 123 RBIs.
Albert, you just can't make mistakes. You leave a pitch up out over the plate, he's gonna hit you, and he's gonna hit you hard. And it seems like we've made a lot of mistakes to Albert Pujols because those numbers are awfully impressive.
Today is the first day of August. It begins a new month for the Pirates, and when we come back, we'll see what happened at the end of July and how this roster has changed. We're at Busch Stadium in St. Louis, Missouri, counting you down to the first pitch between the Pirates and the St. Louis Cardinals right here on FSN. Today's starters, Zach Duke for the Pirates, Adam Wainwright for the Cardinals. Both looking for consistency. Adam Wainwright's been a picture of it, but for Zach Duke, his last start was very good, and he's looking to continue that type of outing here today.
Every one of his starts since he returned from the disabled list has been good. He's only given up 2 earned runs in all 3, and it's just been location. I think the velocity's been a little bit better. The location's been great with all 4 of his pitches, and he's going to need to be good again today.
Sinker ball's been working for Zach Duke. He'll probably throw it early and often against this tough Cardinal lineup. For the Cardinals, Adam Wainwright has been very difficult to beat here at home at Busch Stadium. Wainwright has a record of 10-0.
He's ridiculous. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. He's as good as it gets, especially here at Busch Stadium. 26 consecutive quality starts here at home. A 10-0 record in 11 starts. His ERA about 1.22 here at home. As you see there, the batting average against just 2.19 against the whole league. I mean, he's just really, really good, especially here at home.
6-2 against the Buccos. So Adam Wainwright has the ball for Tony La Russa's Cardinals, and for John Russell's Pirates, it is Zach Duke as we count you down to the first pitch here in St. Louis. That's next. 1:15 first pitch. Certainly not at 1:15 today, but we are momentarily. And with John Wehner, Tim Neverett back at Busch Stadium. Jake Westbrook, the newest member of the Cardinals. He was added to the active roster just this morning. Tyler Green put on the disabled list with a right hand contusion to make room for Jake Westbrook. John Russell sends the Pirates lineup out on the field like this. This is the batting order, led off by Andrew McCutchen. Jose Tabata will bat second play left field. Tabata trying to extend an 11-game hitting streak. Neil Walker will hit third. The cleanup man is Garrett Jones, Pedro Alvarez, then last week's Millage, Ronnie Cedeno, Jason Jaramillo behind the plate today. And batting ninth and doing the pitching, Zach Duke.
And Adam Wainwright goes for the Cardinals, and this Pirate offense struggling here in St. Louis, scoring just one run. The Jeff Clement homer last night, and it's not going to get any easier today. Those numbers really, really good. You see the opponent average 219. I mentioned in the open how good Wainwright is here at Busch. That 26-game streak of quality starts, a major league record. So you know by that he has allowed less than 3 earned runs, going at least 6 innings, 26 straight times here in St. Louis.
And behind him in the outfield, left to right, Matt Holliday, Colby Rasmus, and the youngster John Jay. Felipe Lopez back at third. Ryan, the shortstop. Aaron Miles gets the call at second base today. Pujols at first. And Yadier Molina completes the battery with Adam Wainwright. And John Jay has been an absolute surprise. They knew he had some ability, but translating it to the big league level, he has been incredible. Hitting .383, and we're underway as Andrew McCutchen up there to take the first pitch. It's ball one. 1:19 is the first pitch. That's the time on the clock. 85 degrees out here. And quickly McCutchen behind 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes. McCutchen last night had a couple of hits, 2 out of 4. Takes in the dirt, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Wainwright, a lot like Carpenter as far as the stuff goes. Throws the curveball, the cutter, sinker, occasional slider. Maybe a little more velocity, but certainly has the good location, as does Carpenter.
Wainwright, a big fella too, 6'7", 228 pounds, 28 years of age. There's a drive to center field and a base hit for Andrew McCutchen. Let's take a look at our Barrel Automotive League leaders stat. And our subject today is the starting pitcher, Adam Wainwright, where he ranks in the National League and wins second behind Ubaldo Jimenez of Colorado. ERA second, fourth in complete, second with 4 complete games, 142 strikeouts, fourth in that category. And at home, he has been incredible. 10 wins, 1.22 the earned run average. Barrel Automotive, Barrel.com, definitely worth the click. And Tabata trying to stretch that 11-game hitting streak, a career high for him, obviously. He's very young in his major league career. 4 for 8 in the series. Tabata with 3 hits in the game last night, 3 for 4. Pirates get the leadoff man aboard against Adam Wainwright. Andrew McCutchen.
There's a little slider that Tabata unable to connect, comes up empty. And Wainwright, you try to look for a weakness with this guy, and there really isn't much of one. I mean, he does well against lefties, does well against righties. Lefties hitting .228, right-handers .211.
Adam Wainwright in the All-Star game this year faced 5 batters. He threw 17 pitches in Anaheim. Didn't allow any runs, gave up a hit. Walked 1, struck out 2.
He limits the running game as well. Just 7 attempts of a stolen base against Wainwright.
Tabata fouls it back. Ball and 2 strikes to Jose.
For that matter, you look up and down the whole Cardinals pitching staff, there just aren't many attempts.
Dave Duncan, pitching coach. A lot of pitchers like to perform for him. Former catcher.
Yeah, that's what's more impressive about Dave Duncan. I mean, he's brought so many guys here to St. Louis and has done such a great job with them.
Tabata belts one to left field, and he's got a 12-game hitting streak.
take advantage of mistakes from Adam Wainwright. He gets ahead of Andrew McCutchen, tries to sneak a fastball in there. Andrew with a nice swing, base hit up the middle. He leaves this breaking ball up to Jose Tabata. That was supposed to be down and away, up middle in. And Tabata takes advantage. That's what you're going to have to do. I don't care how good your numbers are or how great your record is. You know, every pitcher is going to make mistakes. They're probably fewer and further between against a guy like Wainwright, but when you get them, take advantage.
First and second, nobody out. Infield fly rule would be in effect, by the way. And Walker shows bunt.
Not on a bunt, though.
Not on a bunt or line drive. Behind the plate, Andy Fletcher. Mike Everett is at first base. Adrian Johnson at second, and Tim McClellan, the crew chief, back at third today. Yeah, popped up bunt doesn't count as an infield fly. 1-0 pitch. And Walker bunts it fairly. Oh, it hit him out of the box. And Walker wants to know why he's out. I don't know if Neil Walker felt it hit him or not. And he is saying that it did not. And having a word with Andy Fletcher, the home plate umpire, about that. But the pictures don't lie, and I'm sure we're going to see one or two.
Well, the thing is, I don't know if Neil thought maybe it hit him when it was in foul ground. But the pretty good idea there. It certainly hits him when he's out of the batter's box. Whether it was fair or foul, that's another question. But it looked like it's in fair ground, so not much of an argument there.
A one out, and Garrett Jones, the hitter, takes strike one. Well, Neil's been involved in some plays, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
Last night, he was induced to thinking he was out at second base during that infield fly situation, and it wasn't by the other players, by the umpire Mike Everett, who called the infield fly rule, then called Neil out on a force, so he walked off the base. Skip Schumacher attempted to tag Neil, tagged it, but Neil was called safe getting back to the bag on the tag. But there was no force, and it's just ironic that, not to pick on the umpire, but it's ironic that an umpire would call the infield fly and then call a man out on a force out in the same play. You just never see that.
Yeah, that's why, I mean, I can excuse the runners for this reason. When an infield fly roll is called, you know, what we saw was umpires with their hand in the air, which basically say it's an infield fly roll, but they're also supposed to yell out infield fly roll. And if it's a borderline fair foul, infield fly roll, it's fair.
1-2 inside, 2-2 to Garrett.
If you're a base runner and you don't hear that, you know, it's hard to assume that it's an infield fly rule. I know John Russell argued that it shouldn't have been an infield fly rule, but you have to be told. You have to be alerted, not just the base runners, but the fielders as well. You have to hear it. They're not looking at umpires. They're looking at the play.
Jones goes down on strikes, 2 away. Well, either way, infield fly or not, well, assuming it is, let's just say it is an infield fly. Walker was safe at second base, and that's where the foul up was by the men in blue.
Right, because you can't be forced out once the infield fly rule is put on. And, you know, there was confusion, especially with the second base umpire last night, Mike Everett. And, you know, I have to assume that the umpires know that they were wrong. And, you know, if it was discussed at the time, the runner should have been reset at second and third.
Well, they're at first and second right now with 2 outs. Pedro Alvarez takes ball 1. Pedro had a tough night last night, 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Hasn't had a hit in this series. Looking for his first big league hit in this ballpark. That's one thing, too. A number of players playing here for the first time. Pedro 1. Andrew McCutchen, Jose Tabata. Andrew asked me for directions to the visitors clubhouse when we arrived the other day. I forgot. I said, you know, we haven't been here since early May. You weren't up.
That's right.
In the big leagues when the Pirates were last here. 1-1 pitch on the way from Wainwright. A swing and a miss for a strike.
And there you see the velocity at 94. He got Garrett Jones on a 95-mile-per-hour fastball. You can run it up there.
McCutchen and Tabata both with base hits. And the 1-2 from Wainwright to Alvarez. Molina setting up outside. Pitch in the dirt. Yadier Molina one of the best in the business.
Yes, sir. Although not textbook there as far as picking that ball out of the dirt. A little slider. Instead of getting down to block it, went to scoop it. Too often when you see catchers trying to scoop a ball out of the dirt instead of getting down to block it, a lot of times that ball ends up behind them. Runners advance.
Two on and two out. 2-ball, 2-strike pitch. And Alvarez watches sail away, and a full count now, so the runners will be off with the pitch. Pedro looking to make some contact. Great speed on the base paths right now. Lastings Millage on deck, and he's been very good with runners in scoring position. Pedro would like to give him a chance to hit that way. Runners go. Here's the payoff, and Alvarez strikes out. Changeup. Adam Wainwright gets out of the first. Pirates strand 2. Heading to the bottom of the first inning at Busch Stadium. Cardinals facing Zach Duke. Tony La Russa sends him out this way. Brought to you by Toyota. Toyota moving forward. Felipe Lopez, switch hitter, starts him off. John Jay, Albert Pujols, Matt Holliday, Yadier Molina, and Colby Rasmus, the young player. Another 2-run home run last night against the Bucs. Brendan Ryan, the shortstop. Adam Wainwright, the pitcher, bats 8th, and the second baseman, Aaron Miles, hitting 9th.
Zach Duke, as you see his numbers, has pretty good numbers against the Cards. 4-5 with a 3.45 ERA in his career. Had a good start against them back on May 7th at PNC Park. He did not allow an earned run, though he did allow 3 unearned.
Duke's first pitch is a strike call to Lopez. And Lopez doesn't like it. So right out of the gate, Felipe Lopez asking questions of Andy Fletcher. 1-1 the count. Jason Jaramillo getting a start. And the immediate future not necessarily known for either Jaramillo or Kratz, with Chris Snyder set to join the club tomorrow before the start of the Cincinnati series at PNC Park. Ryan Doumit will go out on a rehab stint. And one thing that Neil Huntington had hinted at yesterday was that the Pirates may carry 3 catchers when it's all said and done. Lopez pops this one up, shallow left center. Here comes Tabata, and there's one out. Allegheny General Hospital Sports Medicine injury update. Ryan Doumit, a mild concussion, recovering from that. Jumped in the cage here today, took some swings. And Doumit is getting set to go out on a rehab stint. Allegheny General Hospital Sports Medicine, the official medical provider of the Pittsburgh Pirates. So 1 out, John Jay the hitter. Strike is called to him.
In case you're wondering how the youngster fares against lefties, better than against righties. A small sample, but 9 for 19. That's .474 against left-handed pitching.
1-1. Jay was called up about the same time Neil Walker was, and they've got almost as many games in. Jay with 2 fewer games played than Walker. He's out of Miami, Florida, 25 years of age.
I like all the movement in his hands. I mean, it may be a little too much movement, but it's just separation. A good fastball there from Zach. You know, and basically, what hitters do to trigger their swing, you try to get more hands involved. So he has an exaggerated movement with his hands. Actually starts them pretty low, but constantly moving. It's certain guys, I mean, anything you do to generate power, you're going to try to get your hands going back before you go forward. Well, he actually takes them down, back, and up before swinging.
And Walker will throw him out 2 away.
You know, I was one of those guys that had a lot of movement, but this is a lot of movement. But what you see is that it's basically separating your hands from your body. And that's just one way he loads. I mean, if you just feel freer and easier with that separation.
And now the big man, Albert Pujols, got his first run batted in against the Pirates this year, by the way, last night.
Fastball up and away. much different than that. And curious to see how Zach Duke pitches Albert. Remember a start here last year. He pounded him in early and often and really had Albert out of sorts. Like that. I like it.
Pujols behind 0-2.
And to me, you have to get him thinking inside. And Zach Duke throws it right where the catcher Jaramillo sets up. But there was a start here last year as you take a look at the hitting coach, Big Mac, Mark McGuire. And there was a start here last May where they went in on Pujols, and Duke did. And that pitch very close to being a called strike 3. First at bat, fastball in, fastball in, fastball in. The rest of the day, Albert Pujols was so worried about the fastball in, he was fouling balls off behind our dugout.
And in his career, he's hit Duke pretty well. 421, 16 out of 38, 3 homers. And Duke has struck him out twice. 2-2 pitch. Chop foul.
Yeah, and then you get some of that too when you pitch inside. That's a pretty good fastball from Zach. Pumped it up to 91. I don't know if we've seen 91 from Zach Duke this year. But he certainly wants to keep him honest in there. And Albert was thinking about it and took it right off the bunion. Ouch.
Even Superman gets hurt once in a while. Still 2-2 to the 3-time National League Most Valuable Player, Albert Pujols. And Duke delivers. Close again. Count full 3-2.
Wow. And, you know, that's the foot he lands on. Not that he has much of a stride. He basically lifts his heel up and then goes down, but he transfers his weight to his front foot, and that hurt.
Payoff pitch, drilled foul.
And that looks like nothing. I mean, you sit there and you see a foul ball, pulled foul, just a strike, whatever the case may be. But I guarantee you, by Zach Duke throwing 3 fastballs in, that gets him out in front. That's a hanging curveball, pretty much hard of the plate. But because he's thinking about that fastball in, he's way out in front.
And Pujols taps one toward Cedeno. His countryman will throw him out as Pujols limps down to first base. Albert had a problem getting down the baseline. But we are through 1 here at Busch Stadium. Albert Pujols and the Cardinals against the Pirates, scoreless.
Ouch.
A little pain for Pujols.
Ouch.
Lastings Millage set to start the top half of the 2nd inning. No score. Pirates with 2 hits. St. Louis with none. Adam Wainwright pitching to the Pirate right fielder. Millage with a .269 average. Drives the first pitch into the right center field gap. And John Jay's not going to get it. And Millage running around second. He's heading for third. Lastings Millage will be in with a stand-up triple to lead off the 2nd. His 3rd triple of the season.
I love it when he goes the other way. Absolutely love it when Lastings goes the other way. And that ball was hanging up there for a second there. I thought the right fielder Jay was going to come up with a great catch, but fortunately for the Bucks, he doesn't. And after it gets by him to the wall, easy triple for Lastings. Man, that's nice. That pitch is middle, doesn't try to pull it. That's why it's so important. You know, talk about it all the time. Not trying to pull the ball. Use the whole field.
So Thrillage for the Pirates, and Cedeno bunts it foul up the first base side. Pirates trying to get Millage home.
That's not a squeeze. It's just the Ronnie Cedeno just trying to push a bunt to the right side, knowing that if he gets it past the pitcher Wainwright, that Millage is going to score easily. You're not going to see any squeeze plays with nobody out. Middle infield back, a ground ball to shorter second will get him home as well.
Cedeno takes that one in the dirt. 1-1.
And now with the infield, with the corners in, you have to be careful, because if he bunts a ball hard to first or third or back at the pitcher, you can't even send Millage with nobody out.
Leadoff triple has Millage at third. And now second baseman Aaron Miles creeps in, and Cedeno foul tips it into the glove of Molina.
now in the hole, and you're going to deal with all the nastiness from Adam Wainwright. He's going to try to get Cedeno to chase something off the plate or up. And if you're Ronnie, you're going to try to hit a ground ball to the shortstop at the very least. Nope.
Did he go? No, says first base umpire Mike Everett.
Tony La Russa has the blitz on with the right side of his infield. Pujols.
Well, it's disguised first. Yeah. It's a disguised defense.
Pujols is even with the bag, as is the third baseman Lopez. You know, the second baseman Miles starts back and then blitzes.
Yeah, zone blitz. 2-2 coming to Cedeno. Now it's 3-2.
Actually, they called off the blitz that particular pitch. He blitzed the two previous pitches.
Usually the only team we see that type of thing from is from the Cardinals. Here's the blitz again. Miles moves in. 3-2, and Cedeno into right field. It's 1-0 Pirates as Ronnie Cedeno has driven in his 22nd run. Millage scores, and the Pirates on the board.
And there you go. A good piece of hitting, a good job of battling from Cedeno. That pitch was supposed to be in. He left it over the middle, and with Miles being in at second base, Ronnie gets a base hit. If he's back, it's probably just a 4-3 and an RBI. But on that particular pitch, Mills comes in.
Safe Auto Insurance reminds you you're safe at home with Safe Auto, proudly supporting the Obadiah Cole Foundation for prostate cancer screening and awareness. Early detection is the cure. What's the saying? You live by the blitz, you die by the blitz.
Yep.
And that one right back to Wainwright. To Ryan for one. That's a double play. Cedeno erased, but he did his job prior to that, getting Millage home. Got a great item, folks, that you need to get your hands on. If you're a Pirate fan or just a baseball fan in general, great piece of art. The lithograph at $500, hand-signed and numbered by the artist Burton Morris and Bill Mazeroski. The contribution goes to Pirates charities. Go to pirates.com/Mazart for more details, or 1-877-MAZ-1960. And you can pick up the $10 poster of it as well. That can be obtained at PNC Park in the Majestic Clubhouse store and the Pirates Outfitters home plate store.
Notice how short that base runner was sliding. He didn't want to hit Maz.
No.
Those tree trunk legs.
Zach Duke slaps one foul. I saw Duke before the game today. Said beautiful day today, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Good day to pitch too. A little bit warm, middle 80s. To the right side, Aaron Miles there. Pirates are done, but they do get a run on 2 hits. Lastings Millage triple, and Ronnie Cedeno drove him in. Bucco fans, all tickets purchased tomorrow through next Sunday. The Pirates will pay all service fees. This deal includes any ticket purchased for any of the remaining Pirates home games for the rest of the season. Don't miss out on great promotions, post-game concerts, fireworks, and much, much more fun at the ballpark. For tickets, visit pirates.com/no fees. Now, the fees aren't being waived. Pirates are going to pay all those fees. I think she needs a new hat. What do you think?
I like it.
It's been around a while. So ready to go in the bottom half of the second inning. Matt Holliday will lead off. Cardinals were retired in order in the bottom half of the first inning by Duke. Looking at hats. How about that hat?
Don't like it. It's not black and gold.
John Wayner, the Mr. Blackwell of hats.
But yeah, colors.
I know. Gotta find the right colors. Holliday swings and drives one deep to right center. Going back is a hat with about 45,000 others. But the ballpark held it, and Millage retires him. That's 4 in a row to start the ball game for Duke.
COC left it over the heart, and everybody was wondering. Got a little breeze blowing in. don't know if he caught it good or not, but I think he caught it pretty good. I think he thought it was gone. But can of corn for Thrillage.
10-time world champions, St. Louis Cardinals. Like the Pirates, great tradition when it comes to baseball. Great tradition going back, and a lot of great players have come through both cities. Look at those names and the numbers that have been retired. And they've added another number to that. It's not on that wall particularly, but Whitey Herzog has his own number, 24, retired, and the sign is out in left center field. Went into the Hall of Fame. And the White Rat, immortalized here at Busch Stadium. Yadier Molina at the plate, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The World Championships, had a good decade in the 40s. Last one in 2006. In fact, Adam Wainwright, the starter today, got the final out of that World Series as a pitcher.
Let's go into Yachty here. He gets all his hits to right field.
This one's not to right. It's deep to center. But McCutchen, beg your pardon, this time on the track. And he makes the catch. 2 down. So 2 very long outs. But they're outs nonetheless. Andrew McCutchen didn't have to go all that far to make that catch.
Another can of corn.
Rasmus hit a frozen rope out of here last night. A line drive to right for a 2-run shot, his 17th. Strike 1 to Colby Rasmus.
Just enough distance, top of the wall. And then over. Dale Barrow-like. Seemed like every time when I was a kid and I went to a Bucko game, if Dale Barrow hit a home run, he hit the top of the wall.
Yeah, just enough to get it out.
Seemed like it.
1-1. Well, Rasmus and John Jay were looking at limited playing time if Ryan Ludwig had stayed a Cardinal. Ludwig was dealt as part of a 3-team deal in order to get Jake Westbrook. And Ludwig gone to San Diego. And Zach Duke has set down the first 6 Cardinals he has seen. We're through 2 innings in St. Louis. 1-0 Bucks. We take you back to the night, to the 2006 World Series, October 27th. Brandon Inge of the Tigers striking out on a slider from then closer Adam Wainwright. 3 games, 1-0, 1 save in the World Series. Cardinals would take home the World Championship, and Wainwright the next year would be moved to a starter because Carpenter gone due to Tommy John surgery at that point. So Wainwright converted to a starter, and he's been sensational ever since. Adam Wainwright facing Andrew McCutchen. McCutchen 1 for 1. And we'll take that one for a ball. Good start for Zach Duke already, 6 in a row.
Yep, like it. McCutchen, we don't see him bunt too often. I don't know if he was just doing that just to draw the third baseman in or what have you, but the way he hits, he doesn't need to bunt.
Take a strike there. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, that makes a good pitcher right there. That pitch, I mean, just in a nutshell, you know, if you can locate there 2-0, 3-1, you're going to be good.
Now it's 3-1. McCutchen ahead of Wainwright here. 3 balls and a strike. 294 is Andrew's average. Drives one fouling out of play. And the count will be full. Next homestand coming up. It'll be Andrew McCutchen bobblehead night on Friday. It's the only bobblehead night of the season. So make sure you're there to get your Andrew McCutchen bobblehead, courtesy of Pirates.com. For tickets, visit Pirates.com. Don't forget, all tickets purchased through next Sunday. Tomorrow through next Sunday, all service fees are paid by the Pirates. And there is a snare of a hard hit ball by Felipe Lopez.
And this ball was crushed. A fastball up and in. That great bat speed of Andrew McCutchen. Bad luck right at Felipe Lopez.
Right at him. Pitch to Tabata. Got a 12-game hitting streak now. 3 hits last night. He's got a hit already today. 1 for 1. 2 balls and no strikes to Jose. Another good crowd on hand today. Better than 40,000 plus. They've been that way for each of the first 2 games. Sold out the first 2 games. Tabata fouls it back. And the seats might be colored red here, but the majority of them are filled with people wearing red clothes. It's kind of a tradition in St. Louis. You dress in that Cardinal red.
I don't think you have a choice. You go to a mall here, every other store is a Cardinal apparel store. There's not much options. You don't see blues or blacks or yellows. You just have to buy. If you have to go out of town to buy anything, it's not red.
Hard hit ball to Miles. Throws out Tabata 2 away.
Across the bridge, go over to Southern Illinois.
And they got red there. But there does seem to be a shortage, judging from the folks' wardrobe here today. Adam Wainwright to face Neil Walker. Walker tried to bunt his way on in the first inning, and as he left the batter's box, the ball came up and hit him. So he was called out. And he swings at the first pitch, pops it up to center field. Colby Erasmus coming in. He'll make the catch. Pirates done 1, 2, 3 in the top of the 3rd through 2.5 at Busch Stadium. The Pirates lead Adam Wainwright and the Cardinals 1-0. You can follow the Pirates on your iPhone, iPod Touch, BlackBerry, and Android phone with MLB.com at Bat 2010, featuring play-by-play video highlights and live audio broadcasts. Visit Pirates.com today on your iPhone, iPod Touch, Android, or BlackBerry for more details. Everybody's got them. Just make sure at the ballpark you look up when the ball's pitched.
Yep.
You don't want to catch a foul ball with your iPhone or iPad or BlackBerry. To the left center field gap, and Tabata's not going to get it. McCutchen gets the ball back in, and Brendan Ryan is in with a leadoff double. First hit for the Cardinals today.
Yeah, Tabata, you know, was kind of shading him that way, and the ball was hanging up at kind of a bad angle from Jose Tabata. I'm not saying that he could have caught the ball, but if he takes a deeper route, you know, maybe he cuts it off. I doubt it with the speed of Ryan. I don't think it. I think he still ends up at second base, but not a real good angle from Jose. But I'm not sure that makes a difference.
Adam Wainwright with Ryan at second base. Wainwright will try to bunt him over, fouls it off.
If you can get him to bunt it in that direction, that will do us a favor. Garrett Jones will be charging from the word go. He should bunt the ball to the third baseman in this situation, but it didn't appear that that was his intention. Garrett Jones, you can go in there now. I don't know. I mean, you can keep on creeping. He's not going to swing the bat here, I wouldn't think, at least.
Pops up the bunt. It's going foul. Jason Jaramillo, good effort going after it.
Pops it up a bit, and the direction was better. The result the same. Jaramillo doing what he can.
Jason Jaramillo back behind the plate waiting for Zach Duke's pitch. 0-2 to Adam Wainwright. Trying to get Ryan over to third. Nobody out. Ryan takes off and Wainwright hits a one-hopper to Cedeno. One away. Runner at third. Little different style, but the result is the same.
Curious. I just think that's a case of Brendan Ryan thought he could get a huge jump off of Zach Duke, which he does. And there's 2 strikes on Wainwright, so he sees him go. There's no sense in bunting. Certainly something different.
Cardinals have a tying run at third base. And the batter is Aaron Miles, switch hitter. Batting right-handed against Duke. In the air to center. This should tie it up. So Miles does the job with the sacrifice fly. Ryan scores. It's 1-1.
On over in to perfection. Basket catch from Andrew McCutchen. He knows he has no chance. There's no sense setting up and throwing, especially with that sore right shoulder.
2 outs and Lopez. Foul ball just wide of third. There's no reason to put any extra stress on the shoulder. Ball was hit deep enough where he wouldn't have had a chance to throw out Ryan. But Miles with his 4th run batted in of the year. Veteran utility man, knew what he had to do. Saw a pitch he could drive and got the runner in. But that's what you do with a leadoff double. Try to get that guy around, and that's what the Cardinals did.
I actually thought that was going to backfire on him. I mean, from our vantage point being up and behind home plate, that the ball that Wainwright hit to Ronnie Cedeno for a second, it looked like a line drive. I thought they ran into a double play. Obviously, that wasn't the case.
2-1. Lopez now 2-2.
And that's the risk you take, especially with nobody out. If you're going to have a runner trying to steal third, you know, for one, the runner better be sure that he's going to get to third and beat any throw. But secondly, you risk a pop-up or a line drive and shutting down the inning.
Fastball missed inside. 3-2 to Felipe Lopez.
Yeah.
So the 3-2 pitch. And that's low and outside, ball 4. 2-out walk issued to Lopez. Zach Duke losing Lopez. And here's John Jay. Good contact hitter. And last year, one in the minor leagues with AAA Memphis, was recognized as the best hitter for average in the Cardinals minor league system. And he's taken that to the major league level. 379 so far. And now with Ludwig in San Diego, Jay knows he's going to play a lot more. Nice looking bunt, but it goes foul. Trying to catch Pedro Alvarez with 2 outs playing deep.
Well, typically you don't see too much of that 2-out bunting with a runner on first or second or any runners on. You might see it with an 8th place hitter, or in the Cardinals case, maybe the 7th hitter bunting with nobody on and 2 outs just to get the pitcher up and out of the way. But the Cardinals have Albert Pujols, and he's on deck, so it's hard to argue with bunting for a base hit in this situation.
It does take conventional wisdom out of the equation when you've got a weapon like Pujols. Whether there's 2 outs or not, if you've got 2 guys on, you can score with him. Again to first base and Lopez back. Lopez has stolen 5 bases in 7 attempts. Thrown out twice. 2-1 the count and the pitch. To left field, right at Jose Tabata. Makes the catch, and the Cardinals are retired, but they get the tying run. A leadoff double by Brendan Ryan.
.2010 Pirates Baseball on FSN Pittsburgh is brought to you by AT&T. Rethink possible. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day.
Great day here in St. Louis. Time for our This Day in Pirates history. August 1st, 1970. Bob Robertson, Willie Stargell, and Jose Pagan hit consecutive home runs for the Pirates in the 7th inning against the Braves. Pirates would win 20-10 at Atlanta. That's our This Day in Pirates history. Thank you to Day Automotive. 1-1 the score, top of the 4th. Garrett Jones, 0 for 1, struck out in the first. Along with John Wehner, Tim Neverett with you. Final game of a 6-game road trip. Pirates trying to get to 500 on the road trip. They win today, they'd come home 3-3. Tomorrow night, Ross Ohlendorf scheduled to start against the Cincinnati Reds. Ground ball, and that looked like it was deflected by Wainwright. Miles stuck with it and throws out Jones, 1 down.
1-4-3.
Pedro Alvarez. He has struck out in 4 of his last 5 at bats.
It's been a tough stretch here. Pedro going through one of those downward turns.
Hammers that one foul. Just one. El Toro looking to run into one. Gets 7 home runs. And he hammers this one down the right field side, but got out in front. Long strike, 0-2.
Little change up. And that's what you end up seeing with Pedro, when, at least his brief time at the big league level. And you see he swings at a lot of pitches. When he's struggling, he's up there. He just doesn't pick up the ball as well and starts things early. And when he went on that little stretch, that little tear at home where he hit the 4 home runs in 2 games, that little stretch, you see him drew more walks, saw the ball better, deeper counts, longer at bats.
1-2. He stays alive. Pedro went down swinging to end the first. In 7 home runs and 21 runs batted in. Average at .220. This is his first go around at the major league level. There will be ups and downs. First time around.
Looking at him, I know earlier in the year we were talking about this, and you know how closed he got in his stance and how you can almost read his entire name on the back of his jersey. He certainly has started a little more square. Like his shoulders, as you see there, almost slightly open with the feet.
And he takes strike 3 that time as Wainwright with pinpoint control got him grazing the inside corner. Pedro down on strike for the 2nd time today, and there are 2 away in the top of the 4th.
That's his perfect location, and you know, even you see there as Pedro was striding into the ball, that back started getting turned and almost where his back was to Wainwright. And that great location, fastball belt high inside corner. He just has too far to go to pull the trigger there.
Lastings Millage had the triple in the 2nd inning.
He also looks a little more upright than he was earlier in the year, or at least in spring training. I remember him being real wide with his feet, Pedro, a little standing up a little more.
Millage pops it up. Brendan Ryan looking up into the sky, retires him. An easy inning for Wainwright, just 11 pitches. We'll head to the bottom of the 4th when we return to St. Louis. Time again for our trivia question, brought to you by AT&T Mobility. AT&T, rethink possible. Who broke Juan Samuel's rookie record of 72 stolen bases on this date in 1985? I have a guess. I'll wait and hear yours first.
Well, my guess would probably be the same as your guess. I think he threw out the first pitch the other night.
He did. That's my guess. Strike to Pujols. No balls and 2 strikes.
Every now and again we get a softball from the Gypsies. Although I thought Friday night was a softball, and I made an idiot of myself.
Well, I didn't see it Friday night. I was over in radio. What did you do Friday?
A Cardinal pitcher with the 9 consecutive Gold Gloves. And I immediately thought of the guy that won, you know, what I thought like 20-some Gold Gloves was Jim Cott. And so my hints were like Cougar and Tiger and Lion and Puma and Persian, and
which has nothing to do with Bob Gibson.
Nothing to do with Bob Gibson. I knew Cott finished his career here. I didn't know how many years he played here, but I knew he also won like 16 Gold Gloves.
Pay off to Pujols, foul.
And I didn't think Gibson ever had to field any balls because he struck everybody out.
Great park full of statues right in front of the ballpark. Bob Gibson has his. His number is one of the retired ones here in St. Louis. Foul back. Well, Steve Blass got to pitch against Gibson a lot and faced him as well. It's probably a kind of pitcher that you'd like to face. One of those guys just threw it high and hard.
Yep. See that mound there?
Poked right at Neil Walker. And Pujols is 0 for 2.
Played him perfectly out in front. Yeah, because of Bob Gibson, that mound was lowered 10 inches. I don't know what it was before then. Yeah, it's 10 inches now. It's probably, you know, with his numbers, you would think that it was about 3 feet high.
First pitch to Matt Holliday missing.
Why? Looked like a good pitch.
Looked like a very good pitch. And that's outside 2-0. Holliday flat out deep to right field. In fact, he thought he got one. And so did this crowd today, this big Sunday crowd here in St. Louis. But Lasting's Millage caught it on the warning track. 2-0. Now it's 2-1. You know, Bob Gibson also had a stint playing basketball with the Harlem Globetrotters. Very good athlete.
So did Orlando Antigua.
Is that right?
Yeah. Stay in here.
Garrett Jones in foul ground. Makes the play. Nice job, Garrett Jones. That's a much more difficult play than he made it look.
Easy breezy. Hit big boys out of the way. Soft liner from Pujols. This pop up. And Jones ranging back, got himself in a good position, good angle, where his back wasn't to the ball. Got himself turned around.
So Duke getting set to face Yadier Molina. Molina flat out deep to center last time up. And of his 3 hits last night, they all went to right field. So Lasting's Millage playing shallow and right. Trying to take one away from Molina. In fact, the ground rule double he hit was a pitch that was on the inner half of the plate. And he still went down the right field side. This time he pulls it to Alvarez. And Pedro throws him out. And through the heart of the order is Zach Duke. Gets him 1, 2, 3. On to the 5th. 1-1 Bucks and Cards. Let's get you the answer to our AT&T trivia question. Who broke Juan Samuel's rookie record of 72 stolen bases on this date in 1985? Well, if you guessed the guy who got his legs stuck in the tarp, you'd be right. Vince Coleman, 74 steals. for the Cardinals. Friday night was Vince Coleman night as he and Ozzie Smith shared a moment on the mound before the game. And it was Vince Coleman bobblehead night. There's the Wizard. Throwing to Tyler Green. Adam Wainwright facing Ronnie Cedeno. Swing and a miss. Strike one. Top half of the fifth. A 1-1 ball game. Pirates scored first in the second. Millage a triple, and Cedeno got the base hit that drove him in. Cardinals would score in the bottom of the third. Brendan Ryan a leadoff double. He went down to third when Adam Wainwright grounded out to short. He was running on the play. And then Aaron Miles, a sacrifice fly to center field, scored Ryan. The run's tough to come by today. And Cedeno chases the high one and strikes out. Team up with the Pirates in FSN for T-shirt night this Thursday when the Pirates take on the Colorado Rockies at PNC Park. All fans in attendance receive a Pirates T-shirt courtesy of FSN. For more information, visit pirates.com. Good looking T-shirt. The FSN logo on you whenever you wear it. Bringing the game to you. Bringing the T-shirt to you as well. Mason Jaramillo hit into a double play his first time up. Takes a strike. Part of the reason for the acquisition of Chris Snyder, you would think, is to add more offense from the catching position. He brings 10 home runs with him from the Diamondbacks.
He's got some pop, that's for sure. He'd actually be second on the Pirates in RBIs as we stand here today.
2-2 to Jason.
He had a good defensive catcher and had a long errorless streak. He's throwing out runners at a 30% clip throughout his career. Good game caller, receiver.
Three and two. Count full to Jaramillo. Switch hitting catcher. His parents were out in Colorado for the Rockies series. I ran into them underneath the stadium on the way out on the final day of the series. And there is a line shot to right center. Cut off by Jay. Jaramillo with a big turn. And he'll stop with a one-out single. And Jay held him to a single. That ball gets by him. That's trouble.
A hard hit ball. Jaramillo sitting on the fastball. He gets to it, hits it hard. And you'll see here how far John Jay has to go. Nice little deep angle. Gets it on a hop. Good strong throw. Jaramillo had to stay at first.
Zach Duke looking to bunt him over. And that one is going to roll foul. Duke has 6 sacrifice bunts on the season already, trying for a 7th here.
Usually a pretty good bunter is Zach Duke. Had a chance to bunt a guy over his last time out against De La Rosa in Colorado, the hard throwing lefty that has a little bit of control issues. Effectively wild, and Zach didn't look so comfortable in the left-handed batter's box looking at that left-hander. Was unable to get the job done, but typically Zach is pretty good.
Duke, an all-star in 2009, facing Wainwright this year, an all-star. Takes the ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, Washington's pulled in front of Philadelphia in the bottom of the 6th. Adam Dunn has hit his 25th home run. Are you surprised that Dunn remained with the Nationals? You'd think that an American League team would try to get whatever they or get him any way they could because of his potential as a designated hitter in that league.
Well, apparently they weren't willing to give up anything they could. Sure he would have been moved if the Nationals got what they thought they deserved in return. And that asking price was probably too high for any team to make a move.
So another guy who'd been on the circuit in terms of trade rumors. He'd been on the trade treadmill. That was Corey Hart, the right fielder for Milwaukee. He's just hit a 2-run homer, his 23rd. Milwaukee leads Houston 2-0 in the 6th. 2-1 to Duke. And the throw back to first base. Armio safe. Well, we kept hearing things about Corey Hart, Prince Fielder. Of course, Adam Dunn quite a bit. All three of them stayed put.
Yep, and you know, again, most rumors are just rumors. The things that you expect don't always happen.
And this one put into fair territory and a sacrifice bunt for Zach Duke, his 7th of the season. That moves Jaramillo to second base. And that'll bring up Andrew McCutchen and a chance to drive in a run. Wouldn't you like to be a fly on the wall, though? In some general manager's office, any general manager's office in baseball, being able to listen into all of the speculation and conversations he would have with another general manager, perhaps conference call with another general manager. I think it would be pretty interesting to hear what they actually talk about, things that never get out in the public.
I can't imagine how hectic that would be for every general manager. The phone must be ringing off the hook. It has to be endless.
Strike one to Andrew McCutchen. 1 for 2 today.
It would be interesting to see, who's available and what the asking price is. And
who might be on the block that you don't think would be on the trading block. Comes the 0-1. 1-1.
Cutchin, a couple of bullets here this afternoon. Base hit the center. Smoked the ball right at the third baseman Lopez last time up. We want to see him smoke one in a gap here and drive in the go-ahead run.
Down to Brendan Ryan at shortstop. Has a problem handling it, and everybody's safe. First and third for the Buccos.
Well, that'll be an error on Ryan. You got a runner like McCutchen who's so fast. The shortstop, you don't want to sit back, so he starts in. He got caught a little bit in between. The ball hit him up in the palm of his glove. Looked like it actually kicked up to his left a little bit.
Brendan Ryan a little disappointed with himself. 2 men out and runners at the corners for Jose Tabata. 1 for 2. He's extended his hitting streak from 11 games to 12 games with that first inning single. And has his average pushing 300. He's 297.
It's been climbing. A chance here. And we've seen Jose and how much he likes to use the whole field and go the other way. Let's see how Wainwright pitches him. He's got that big hole over there on that right side. But they're calling for the fastball in.
.91 that time. Foot missing. 1-1. Jose Tabata, formerly property of the Yankees, came over to the Pirates in a deal, and last year impressed in the minor leagues. This year, same thing, earned himself a call up and has become a fixture in the Pirates outfield. Inside again, 2-1. Kind of a dream come true for him, because for one reason or another, as a kid, he came to know the story of Roberto Clemente and always wanted to play in the Pirates outfield. Here he is actually doing it.
Yeah, and doing it very well. I think that's fairly common. And when you go down to whether it's Venezuela or Puerto Rico or Dominican, Roberto Clemente, a superstar, sure talked about on a daily basis. Baseball circles around there.
Tabata digging back in against Adam Wainwright. 2 balls and a strike, 2 outs. Top of the 5th of a 1-1 game.
Think he asked for his number?
Well, 21's not available, so he got 31. Next best thing, I guess. Pinballing around in the seats off the bat of Tabata. Two and two to Jose. Bobby Crosby, Ryan Church, and DJ Carrasco now members of the Diamondbacks, and they're enjoying a 9-1 game. They lead the Mets in the top of the 7th inning. Adam LaRoche has a pair of home runs for Arizona. Here comes the 2-2. And the count full, so McCutchen will take off with the pitch.
That one foul ball got a little girl. Oh, he got her in the head. Ouch. She's walking.
Here comes the payoff pitch to Tabata. Check swing foul ball, and McCutchen, who was running, will have to go back to first.
Wainwright tried to throw a slider there. Kind of backed up, left it up and in. Jose tried to check it. Ended up getting a piece. Big at bat right here. Pitch count getting a little high for Wainwright.
So again, this lines up the payoff pitch. Jaramillo off third, McCutchen off first. Another check swing foul ball.
Boy, that time a curveball. I think this is what Jose has really impressed me with since his call up for a young guy, wasting pitches, because that's a borderline strike. He's not sure. You know, is that too far inside? What do I do? Waste a borderline pitch from Adam Wainwright.
To Ryan at short. Holds on to it this time. Throws on to first and just gets Tabata. And the Pirates strand 2 in the 5th. Our EastToUse.com minor league connection. Yes, lights, camera, action. Rinku Singh and Dinesh Patel, Sylvester Stallone, and Sony Pictures making a movie about their incredible story. Never even hearing about baseball or knowing what it is, and winning their way through a game show to get a professional contract, and still working out in Florida with the Gulf Coast League Pirates. Interesting story. The good thing, if it's a Sylvester Stallone movie, Rock, there's probably a sequel.
Yep. Action packed.
And another one, and another one. But good for them.
That's an amazing story.
One ball and no strikes. Rasmus fouls it away. 1-1. Colby struck out in the first inning. This time fouls it back and counted 1-2. 270 for Rasmus. Incidentally, infielder David Freese today was working out. He's been on the disabled list. They're getting ready to send him out on a rehab stint. He's been running the bases prior to the game. I guess they're going to send him out, trying to get him back quickly. Prior to the game, Tyler Green placed on the disabled list, a right hand contusion, so they could activate pitcher Jake Westbrook. Just out of the reach of Walker, and Rasmus trying for 2. And he will be there.
That's good hustle. You got to tip your cap there. Ground ball, and Neil Walker almost needed another 3 inches. Maybe a third baseman glove, a little longer, may have been able to snag that, but he slowed that ball down just enough to where Rasmus turns it on.
Leadoff double for the second time of the game for the Cardinals. Ryan had one in the third. It produced a run. Now Brendan Ryan, who had that double, at the plate. Will take a breaking ball for strike one, 0-1.
Corners are in, but you got the pitcher Wainwright on deck. So not a bunt situation.
Nothing in one. Move over to second base. That's good news for the Gulf Coast League kids from India. They're getting their life story told in a movie. How about the John Wehner story?
No story there.
No story at all?
Nope.
The last home run at Three Rivers Stadium. Made the last error there too, didn't you?
No.
No?
Last Pirate error.
Last Pirate error. Who made the last error?
Somebody for the Cubs. Last out. That wouldn't make it. I don't think you could make a movie on that.
I mean, they've had a movie about you called The Rock. There's an actor named The Rock.
Yeah, the actor actually came and threw a first pitch at Three Rivers.
It's going to fall in fair territory. Duke has no play.
That's amazing. You know, it's just not a good play for me unless, you know, I mean, Tony La Russa must think that Adam Wainwright's, you know, ain't good enough with the bat to where, you know, you give up an out with Brendan Ryan. Now, I know obviously Ryan doesn't have the best numbers in the world, but he's a Major League Baseball player. He's a Major League hitter. So you give up an out. It works out great for Tony La Russa as he ends up with a base hit.
We're just talking about the John Wehner story. October 1st, 2000. Last home run at Three Rivers Stadium. And there he is. Carrot Kid rounding the bases. There's a backstory with that ball, isn't there?
Somebody jumped down out of the stands and got it. Got taken away, flipped the ball to his buddy, got it back. He went out to dinner.
Yeah, you met the guy and signed the ball for him, didn't you?
Yeah, exchanged some things.
But you got the ball back.
Yeah, I have the ball.
What did it cost you?
A bat, some other signed items.
Adam Wainwright, he's hit a home run. In fact, his first major league at bat on the first pitch he saw from Noah Lowry of the Giants on the 24th of May in 2006. Swings and misses there. 0-2 to Wainwright.
Yep.
When he did that, he became the 11th National Leaguer to do it, 22nd hitter in Major League history to hit a home run in the first pitch.
148 hitter this year. I guess that's good enough to have your shortstop sacrifice to get him up there. Unbelievable.
And he gets a base hit. Cardinals take the lead. Ryan at third base is safe. An RBI single for Adam Wainwright. 2-1 St. Louis.
0-2 pitch. Throw a breaking ball, speed the bat up, hit it off the end of the bat, and everything works out perfectly for Tony La Russa and the Cardinals. Jaramillo was down to block the plate. So Wainwright picks up his 5th hit of the year. I'm sorry, 9th hit of the year.
Brendan Ryan's going to have his left hand cleaned up. Under the base kind of hard. Go back. I mean, last night Jeff Suppan with the bases loaded did it in the 2nd inning. He got an RBI single. Brendan Ryan is figured into the scoring already. Hustling to third base. Watch where his left hand goes. I just looked down a couple of times on the ground. He's grasping at the glove. Why do guys do that? Why do the guys feel they have to hold the glove when they run? Some guys will.
So they keep their hands in the air when they slide. That's the only reason they hold a glove in their hands, so it reminds them to put their hands up when they slide. So he obviously didn't put his hand up. He put his hand down, and I've never in my life ever have seen a trainer come out to clean a hand when somebody gets a brush burn on their hand. That's a first for me. Yeah, it happens all the time. I mean, what's next? The guy slides, he gets a brush burn on his knee, and then the trainer comes out, cleans it up, middle of the inning. Now, those happen on a daily basis, almost a per slide basis. It's unusual. But yeah, you hold the glove in your hand, so when you slide, you put your hands up.
Aaron Miles drove in the Cardinals' first run with a sacrifice fly. Well, you must love watching soccer then, where they keep playing and they have to take a guy off on a stretcher if he gets hurt.
Yeah, but at least those guys are out there running around for like an hour and a half. They need a breather. At least that's some kind of an excuse, but yeah, it's pretty hard to stomach.
Miles a base hit to center field. Here comes Ryan in to score. 3-1.
That dude getting too soft. Everything being hit is soft. Another breaking ball, another ball that Jaramillo is going down the block.
Ryan scores easily. Wainwright stops at second. First and second, nobody out. 2 runs in already for St. Louis. 5 hits apiece. Top of the order, Felipe Lopez. He walked last time up 0 for 1. Flying to left in the first.
Pirates infield again playing for the bunt. Corners in. Ronnie Cedeno kind of trying to fake the wheel play. Went in behind Wainwright. Started running towards third as if he was going to vacate. And the same thing happened with Ronnie Cedeno. And what you're doing is basically you're giving up territory defensively.
Cedeno back. He and Walker shading the bag, trying to get 2 in the middle. Wainwright, the pitcher, the lead runner at second base. Aaron Miles, big lead at first. Jones playing behind him. Well off the bag. And Lopez tries to bunt.
And hard to tell if he was sacrificing or bunting for a hit there. But he only has 1 sacrifice all year long. I can see in an obvious sacrifice situation, you may, have your defense up and maybe putting on plays or whatever, but he didn't show it. But you don't want to give up too much ground defensively.
There's a ground ball to second base. Walker tags Miles for 1, throws on to first. They get the double play, and Wainwright down to third safely.
Well, that certainly helps matters. As Neil Walker charging in. Aaron Miles doesn't do his job, and that is to stop and make the second baseman throw the ball to first. So that's an easy double play.
Now the infield can go back. The left-hander up. Pedro Alvarez even with the bag at third. John Jay, the right fielder. 0-for-2 today. Grounded to Walker at second in the first, and then flied out to Tabata in left in the third inning. Ground ball, left side, tough play for Cedeno. He's not going to get him. Wainwright will score. An RBI infield single for John Jay, and the Cardinals now lead it 4-1.
Well, just hitting the right place with a speedy left-handed batter. Kind of fisted it over there, and he's just too quick.
Coming out of that left side batter's box, he flies down the line.
And all the damage has been done at the bottom of the lineup. 6, 7, 8, 9. Till Jay, that's the first hit from any of the top 5 in the St. Louis order.
You look at the middle three, Pujols, Holiday, and Molina. Those three, all of them are 0-for-2. And Pujols coming up now with a runner aboard and 2 down. He's under 300 at 297. And just 1 run batted in against the Pirates this season. That was last night's solo homer. Tops in intentional walks, second in home runs at 24. Big numbers. People in St. Louis don't think it's good enough, and that's the problem when you're as good as he is. The expectations are always super high, and because he's hitting under 300, the fans around here almost panic.
Well, he's when you look at the ranking of offensive stats, Albert Pujols always in the middle of all of it. This year, probably not in the top 10 of hitting, but certainly in the top 15. I don't know if there's quite yet panic on the streets here, but
Concern at this point.
and they shouldn't be.
No, they shouldn't. He still has great numbers. He's still driven in 72 runs. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day, getting runs in.
Drive him in, he scores them.
Jay at first base. Duke delivers. And Pujols fouls it back. 2-2. Cardinals won the first 2 games of this series.
Get it in there.
Wow. Interesting thing about the Cards, 3 of their last 4 wins have come in extra innings. They won here at 10 Friday night. We'll say they won in regulation last night in that Mets series. Now went to extra innings. Payoff pitch. Down to third base, foul. Cardinals start the day in first place in the Central by half a game over Cincinnati. Reds in action right now. They are taking on the Atlanta Braves, top of the ninth, 2-1 Cincinnati. The Reds and Cardinals atop the division. Milwaukee has snuck into third place, game and a half in front of the Cubs.
Uh-oh.
3-2 is hammered. Deep left center field. Way back. That's number 25 for Albert Pujols.
Didn't get it in there. Did not get it in there. Tried to go inside, left it right down the middle. Right down the middle, knee high. Actually, more like thigh high. And that's the thing. I think he needs to be pitched in. But if you don't get it in there, you're in trouble.
And Holiday fouls this one back. That ignites this big crowd. Zach Duke knew that he didn't get the pitch he wanted right away.
And I scratch my head because I'm still wondering about Brendan Ryan bunting with the runner on second, nobody out with the pitcher behind him, basically giving up an out. He just ended up with a base hit, but he was sacrificing, which is usually giving up an out.
With the pitcher hitting behind.
With the pitcher hitting behind, and then it just all works out. It turns out he gets a bunt base hit, and the pitcher gets a base hit. But by giving the opposition an out with that seventh hitter, and you figure the pitcher most times is going to be out as well. That doesn't happen. If the sacrifice and we defend it and throw them out, Pujols isn't up in this situation. It's amazing how this inning has played out.
To right center field. Hastings Millage wants it. That does it. 5 runs in. A 2-run home run by Albert Pujols. The tip of the iceberg for the Cardinals in their half of the 5th inning. 6-1 St. Louis. Zach Duke normally contains his emotions on the field, but obviously upset at that 5-run inning by the Cardinals and that center cut pitch he threw Albert Pujols that ended up over the left center field wall. 5 runs in the 5th, and it's a 6-1 Cardinal lead. Adam Wainwright pitching to Neil Walker. Start the top half of the 6th. Pirates now have to try to chip away against Wainwright, one of the toughest guys in baseball.
As I said earlier, 26 straight quality starts, a major league record here at home.
Popped up, drifting foul. Lopez giving it a look, and he'll make the play right on the warning path. Walker is now 0 for 3. When you look into this Cardinals staff, just with the aces, and they've got 2 of them. They've got Chris Carpenter, who pitched Friday, and they've got Adam Wainwright, who's pitching today. Combined, they're 19-2 at Busch Stadium this season. And the Cardinals just keep on scoring runs for them.
It's pretty impressive. Then you throw in the rookie Garcia and his 9-4 record, 2.33 ERA.
Cardinals starting pitching leads the National League with 43 wins this season, and those 3 that you mentioned, Carpenter, Wainwright, and Garcia, 42 and 23, their combined record. That's the combined the Cardinals win-loss record when they start. And those 3 have combined for 50 of the staff's 63 quality starts. Eric Jones skies it to center field. Colby Rasmus has a beat on it. Makes the catch, 2 outs. National League team leaders in earned run average. Andre's getting it done, and the Cardinals are next. Giants, Atlanta, and the Mets.
$20 games over at home for St. Louis. 22-30 on the road. So they struggle on the road, as do many teams in the major leagues nowadays.
Pedro trying to make some contact here. Struck out twice today. 3 times last night and once on Friday. You see the Central being battled between the Reds and Cardinals as we start the month of August. Hard to believe. It doesn't feel like August 1st today. Seems more like July 32nd.
Yeah. Yeah, with the weather the way it is, sure.
Alvarez bangs one to center field. That's got to feel good for Pedro. 2-out single for Alvarez. Let's take a look at the Coors Light freeze can. Black Coors Light, world's most refreshing beer. Stace Millage getting a triple. Look how close John Jay came to catching that ball.
They've actually got a piece of it.
Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Millage 1 for 2, his 3rd triple of the season. He would eventually come around to score the lone Pirates run. Pirates led the ball game 1-0, now trailing 6-1. Millage facing 28-year-old Adam Wainwright. Last year finishing 3rd in the Cy Young voting behind his teammate Chris Carpenter, who finished 2nd. Tim Lincecum would win it for the Giants. Well, what does that say about your staff when you've got the guys who finished 2-3 in the Cy voting? Millage hits this one well to left, but Matt Holliday runs it down in the corner. Pedro Alvarez, a 2-out single. He's left on base. Molina, Rasmus, and Ryan coming up. (6-1) St. Louis heading to the bottom of the 6th inning. And next Sunday, the Pirates host the Rockies at 1:35. It's another kids' day at the ballpark. Family Fun Zone pregame on Federal Street. And after the game, the kids get to run the bases thanks to HK Pretzels. All kids 14 and under get a kids replica batting helmet courtesy of Trip Total Media. To get tickets, visit Pirates.com. Kids have a great time at the ballpark. If you haven't been out with your kid, hey kid, take your parents out to the ballpark next Sunday. On a kids' day, you'll get a replica batting helmet. Have a great time for sure. Along with John Wehner, Tim Everett here in St. Louis. New pitcher on for the Pirates. Just recalled for the 2nd time this season from AAA, left-hander Justin Thomas.
C3 appearances in his earlier stint. 3-0 down in AAA Indy with 4 saves, 2.63 ERA.
Yadier Molina takes ball 1 high. The Pirates had to add Thomas. They've added Ledesma and Jackson this week from AAA. DJ Carrasco, part of a 3-player contingent heading to Arizona. Line drive that curls away from McCutchen. He recovers to make the catch. Nice play by Andrew McCutchen.
Oh, yes, sirree. The ball wasn't hit as hard as Andrew had thought. So he was heading left, and look at that backspin. You don't see that very often. You can see a right-handed hitter hit a ball to right field and see it tail away. But in center field, you just don't see that. Look at him. What's wrong with his ball? He looked at the ball like there was something wrong with it.
He had a screwball hit to him. Rasmus fouls this one away. Carrasco now with the Diamondbacks. Dotel with the Dodgers. Javier Lopez with the Giants. Expect to see James McDonald from the Dodgers here with the Pirates. And a new catcher joining the team tomorrow, Chris Snyder. Rasmus fouls it back. Travis Wood pitching tomorrow against Ross Ohlendorf. Monday and Tuesday are night games at PNC Park. Wednesday is a matinee game, 12:35. Not too many of those during the course of the season. And here in early August, you can get to the ballpark and enjoy a day game. This one is going to drop in. Rasmus gets the ball into the area where nobody was able to get to. So Wood against Ohlendorf. tomorrow. Mike Leake and Paul Maholm Tuesday. Johnny Cueto and Jeff Karstens on Wednesday afternoon. It's our Toyota The Road Ahead, brought to you by your Western Pennsylvania Toyota dealers. Toyota moving forward. Rasmus now 2 for 3. And then Ryan fouls it back. Ryan has seen his average climb to 215. He started the series a lot lower than that. He was 198 on Friday night.
Surprised Ryan isn't bunting here.
They get the pitcher on deck, so that's kind of been the philosophy from Tony La Russa. Doesn't make any sense, but it worked the last time. I mean, if you had a conversation with every manager in baseball and said, would you bunt the hitter in front of the pitcher to sacrifice to get to the pitcher, they'd all tell you what? They'd all tell you, no, I wouldn't do it.
Oh, no, that's what I mean. It's just, I'm sorry, I was daydreaming there for a second. Looking at Bob walk over there next door, and he was kind of motioning over here. So, but yeah, it just doesn't happen, especially a guy on second, nobody out. You know, that situation, and he's the type of player that can hit a ball to the right side. Why would you give up an out? And a guy like this batting in front of a pitcher that came into the game hitting 148, and you're going to have him bunt, a sacrifice bunt. So for one, you're saying you're saying to your shortstop that I don't trust that you can get a base hit in this situation. I don't trust that you can hit a ball to the right side in this situation. I believe the pitcher has a better chance of driving in this run than you do. And to me, it's ridiculous.
Well, that's what we witnessed last inning. 3-1 to Ryan. Thomas deals. Runner goes. That's a strike, and Rasmus gunned down by a long way. Armio gets Colby Rasmus. Taking off on a 3-1 pitch. I think he thought it was ball 4.
Yeah, it wasn't even close. That's a head scratcher for me there too. A 6-1 ball game. Send a runner that against a lefty that he doesn't know, gets a horrible jump. Good job, JJ.
And Ryan belts one to left field. The bat of Brendan Ryan has come alive. He has 3 hits this afternoon. 2 singles and a double. And here's Adam Wainwright with 2 outs.
Does he need his coat?
I don't think so. He's got a glove on his hand that he scraped up, I think. Instead of carrying the glove, he's wearing the glove on the left hand.
Well, I feel bad for him. I really do. I mean, I'm thinking as a major league player, a major league shortstop who's had success, you know, I think that's a huge slap in his face.
Now he's carrying the glove in the gloved hand. Well, you're saying that you think it's not good that your manager would have you sacrifice with a pitcher on deck.
Absolutely.
That's
a guy on second, nobody out. I mean, I think that's the ultimate slap in the face if you're a major league hitter.
Well, Ryan trying to show his manager something. 3 for 3 today.
And this guy, he hit 292 last year for Tony La Russa. He's a career 279 hitter coming into this year.
Wainwright up the middle, a base hit. Second hit of the afternoon for the Cardinal pitcher Adam Wainwright. Third hit of the inning off Justin Thomas. Third consecutive hit. Rasmus going out trying to steal. Ryan single to left. Wainwright single up the middle. Aaron Miles 1 for 1 with 2 runs batted in. Lifts it to left, and Tabata there. He will make the catch, and that is the final out of the 6th inning. Nothing across, 3 hits, and 2 men left aboard for St. Louis. On to the 7th we go.
Adam Wainwright, we all know about his arm and his numbers here at Busch Stadium. Looking to go 11-0 in 12 starts. The location, the velocity, the change of speed, the breaking balls. Fastball by Ronnie Cedeno right there. And with the bat, an 0-2 pitch. Down and away, the soft serve in the left center field. The hit of the game thus far, and just this past inning. Adam Wainwright picks up a second base hit.
And climbing on top of the hill for the start of the 7th. 6 runs on 10 hits for St. Louis. 1 run on 6 hits for the Pirates. Cedeno drove in the lone Pirate run in the 2nd after Millage led off with a triple. Right side of the infield was drawn in, and Ronnie poked it to right for the base hit. Off the mask, 0-2. Yadier Molina.
The goalie mask a little louder than the traditional catcher's mask. I think there was another. I know Ryan Domet and DL concussion-like symptoms, he's taking a ton of foul balls off the mask. Wasn't there another catcher earlier this year that same thing happened and he had the goalie mask?
Is that Ryan Hannigan? Maybe? Just off the top of my head.
Because usually, I mean, I've always thought that the goalie masks did a better job of protecting the catcher or the umpire. Some umpires wear it. And, you know, I don't know if that's an option for Ryan Domet or not, but you know, those things are pretty solid. Obviously, if, you know, you got a piece of rubber coming at you 100 miles an hour and it hits you and you shake it off, that's pretty good stuff. But I think it's a little more protective and less likely to get a concussion. I've always thought that anyhow, but I think there was somebody this year, whether it was Hannigan or somebody else, I'm not sure, but I think somebody else suffered a concussion with the goalie mask.
There's Cedeno fighting off Adam Wainwright. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the payoff. Strike 3 called, and Cedeno is going to bark about it. John with Andy Fletcher, the home plate umpire, didn't like the call. A lot of things aren't going the Pirates' way today. And he didn't like it.
I got a good view of it here, directly behind in center field. Yeah, I think Ronnie had an argument there. Like that pitch was running off the outside corner.
Good strikeout for Wainwright.
He did have an argument.
Pitch is fouled back. Andy LaRoche in the on-deck circle. Jason Jaramillo, 0-1. Now 0-2. One out, top half of the 7th. Jaramillo had a solidly struck single to the right center field gap. John Jay cut it off and prevented the double. Jaramillo hits it hard on the ground to the second baseman, Miles. 2 down.
That may have been former Cardinal catcher Mike Matheny that had concussion issues and wore the goalie mask. I'm not positive, but I know I was talking to Ryan Doman about it, and he was telling me he had talked to somebody, and I think it was Matheny that had the goalie type mask. Just don't remember like I used to. I misremembered.
1 the count to Andy LaRoche. According to the University of Pittsburgh, concussions are maybe a bigger problem than people think. 300,000 are suffered a year, according to a study there.
When you think of a bruised brain, literally, I think that would be an issue.
Tapper past the mound, and Ryan won't have a play. Oh, he pulled his foot off the bag.
That's a horrible call.
Oh, my goodness. And out comes John Russell. Carlos Garcia arguing with first base umpire Mike Everett. Pujols was nowhere near the bag. You get a look on it.
Wow.
Is how the day has gone.
Brendan Ryan, athletic play, cutting in front of the second baseman Miles, the one-hop throw, and there's Pujols, and that actually makes it look a lot closer than the live look at it. It looked like it wasn't even close, but there you see it again. You know, certainly a tough call, but yet another call that goes against the Pirates.
Andy had a point. Mike Everett, who was involved heavily in the infield fly controversy last night, and all ways you look at it, that call was messed up, and this one at first base as well. Sean Gallagher is in the pitch for the Pirates, facing the top of the order, Felipe Lopez.
Good change up there.
Thomas won an inning, didn't give up a run. Scoreless inning of relief. 3 hits were garnered off him. They didn't walk anybody, didn't strike anybody out. So anytime you pitch relief and a run doesn't score, that's okay. And the pitch coming to Lopez. Payoff is bounced down to second base, and Walker throws out Lopez. First out of the bottom of the 7th. That's frustrating if you're the base runner. Andy LaRoche's case, as you know, Rock, when you get those bang plays at first, or a throw that you feel has pulled the guy off. You know when you stepped on the bag, and you have an idea about where that guy's foot is usually.
Well, it's more frustrating for Andy LaRoche because he doesn't play hardly ever anymore, and you know he might get one at bat a night or one at bat every 3 nights, so he just doesn't get many opportunities. And you know that's a base hit in his mind if you know the call is made correctly.
2-0 to John Jay. Now it's 2-1. Gallagher did a nice job in the Colorado series, coming in for Ross Ohlendorf when Ohlendorf got struck on the head by the Troy Tulowitzki line drive, and he pitched 20 innings in relief and ended up getting the victory in that particular game. Struck out 4 in his 3 innings of work. Walker will handle it again. 2 down. Take a look now on Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. Today we take a look at last night to right center field. Albert Pujols, home run number 24. And again today, a 2-run shot, home run number 25. With that, he moves into second place on the home run list. And on the RBI list in third. Cold Hard Blast brought to you by Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Not too refreshing for Andy Fletcher right now.
Yeah, looked like he got it in the left leg. See the ball bounces up past Jaramillo. Just a bruise. Pujols calling for the ambulance.
Rampart, station 51. Young kids don't understand what I'm talking about.
Probably not.
He's okay. One ball, no strikes, 2 men out, bottom of the 7th inning. And Gallagher delivers to Pujols, gets a strike, 1-1. You just can't get over the fact that Brendan Ryan had to have the trainer come out and wipe off his hand.
I've never seen that before.
Ground ball to short. Cedeno still gets him. Albert not running very well, and Cedeno taking advantage of it. Sean Gallagher, a perfect inning of relief in the bottom of the 7th. Top of the order coming up for the Pirates in the 8th. New pitcher on for the Cardinals, right-hander Jason Mott. So we start the top half of the 8th inning. Day is all done for the starter Adam Wainwright. 6 runs, 10 hits, 1 error for St. Louis. 1-6-0 the numbers for the Pirates. Mellors with a leadoff triple in the 2nd. He scored the Bucks' only run. Brendan Ryan 3 for 3. Albert Pujols now in a 2nd place tie with Adam Dunn of Washington. His 25th home run. That's your game summary.
Wainwright will have his 27th consecutive quality start at home. Give way to Jason Mott. First batter efficiency at 70%.
Andrew McCutchen takes a strike from Mott. McCutchen 1 for 3. Reached on an error by the shortstop Ryan in the 5th. Strike 2 right on the outside corner. If McCutchen's shoulder's bothering him, really, he's showing no signs of it.
Well, that's for sure. He's still swinging the bat well and catching the ball as well as anybody in center field.
We go back to earlier in the road trip in Colorado, some of the catches that he made in that vast outfield. He was amazing defensively. And he goes down on strikes. Jason Mott strikes out Andrew McCutchen to start the 8th. Jose Tabata, 12-game hitting streak for Jose. 1 for 3 today. Grounded out in his last 2 plate appearances. It's a second in the 3rd inning and the short of the 5th. Base hit in the 1st. Tabata facing Jason Mott for the first time. Nothing in 1. And Tabata fouls this one away. Tabata hitting .283 against right-handed pitching. .294 in the 7th inning or later.
Always gives you a good at bat. Saw a lot of pitches last time up before hitting a ground ball to short, a hard ground ball to short. Out of the blue, a 97-mile-per-hour fastball from Mott. First few fastballs, just 93, or 91 rather.
Tabata pops it up right side, foul ground. Pujols over by the dugout will not get it. He gets a little help from his friends. And the big crowd today applauding him. Well, the ball got there before Albert did. protecting their superstar. $43,338 came out to watch Pujols and the Cardinals play the Pirates today. 16th sellout this year for St. Louis in their third straight. Pirates have sold out all 3 games this weekend.
It's always an event here. Busch Stadium. More so this weekend with the celebration of the '85 World Series team.
Whitey Herzog having his number retired last night. 3-2. And Tabata right to left field. Good try by Lopez, but he wasn't able to haul it in. And Jose Tabata has another multi-hit game. 2 for 4 now for Jose. And with 1 man out, 1 man aboard for Neil Walker.
Let's see if we can get Neil involved. Neil and Garrett Jones.
Neil is 0 for 3, and he's familiar with Mott. Neil got his first major league base hit off of Jason Mott last fall.
Well, not going to get a chance.
So he will not face Mott. Tony La Russa is going to make sure of that. So La Russa comes out. They're going to turn Walker around to have him bat right-handed more than likely. That's what they did last night. So you can expect Dennis Reyes, the left-hander, to come out of the bullpen for St. Louis. Busch Stadium, St. Louis, Missouri. Top of the 8th inning with John Wehner. I'm Tim Everett. 1 out, 6-1 Cardinals. Neil Walker will turn around and bat right-handed against the lefty Dennis Reyes. Brought in when Tony La Russa made his Columbia Gas 8-1-1 call to the pen. 48th appearance for the experienced left-hander. La Russa did this last night too, turning Neil around, getting him to bat right-handed. Hitting .264 against left-handed pitching, .320 against right-handed pitching.
I was looking at Reyes' age. I mean, it seems like he's been around since Fernando Valenzuela. And pretty much close. I mean, he's been around since '93. That's when he started pitching professionally down in Mexico City. He's only 33 years old.
So he started when he was, what, 7?
Or 16.
Yeah, he started early.
It kind of looks a little bit like him. I think it was his hero growing up was Fernando. Built a lot alike.
Well, it almost looks like when you look at Reyes, that one shoulder is much bigger than the other. That right shoulder pretty bulky.
You don't want to get too strong in the pitching arm. He does one-handed curls, one-handed bench press.
And Walker will take ball 4. So that move doesn't exactly work out. Tabata down to second base and Walker to first. One out. Here's Garrett Jones. Jones trying to get something going offensively. Jones is 0 for 3 with 1 strikeout in his career against Reyes. And he got that one right on the leg, it looked like, maybe the foot. And he seems okay. He's starting to smile some.
Let's see where Eric gets him.
Oh, on the shin.
Yeah, that never feels good.
Got the shin burger right there. That hurts. Well, Jones will tape an aspirin to it. He'll be all right. 0-1. 272 is average. Jones leading the club in RBIs with 61, home runs with 14. First and second, one man out. And the 0-1 in the air to right. John Jay will make the catch. And there are two away. Pedro Alvarez coming to the plate. Base hit his last time up. He hit a missile to center field. Maybe he's coming out of that little funk he had, that swing and miss slump.
Yeah, hopefully. Get a chance to face Reyes, who's always kind of been effectively wild, even back when he first emerged in the big leagues, back with the Dodgers in '97. Never had that great pinpoint control. Always had good movement on his fastball, sneaky quick.
Strike called to Pedro. Cardinals with a 5-run lead. They've got double barrel action in the bullpen. Two right-handers loosening up. Alvarez swinging and missing, 1-2. That ball that darts down and away is the one that gives him trouble.
Yep. Well, you got to battle now with 2 strikes. Ideally, against a guy like Reyes, you want to make him elevate. Now you're just protecting.
Yeah, you talk about Reyes being around. Dodgers, Reds, Rockies, Rangers, Pirates in 2003, Arizona, Kansas City, San Diego, Twins, and the Cardinals.
Yep.
It's more like who hasn't he pitched for as opposed to who has he pitched for. Count full 3-2, so the runners will take off. Top of the lead runner at second base, Walker at first. Reyes stepping in, the left-hander, facing Alvarez. Lifted foul and just out of play.
Oh, that was a little slider that backed up on him. Kind of tied Pedro up. And chances are this will be the last batter Reyes will face.
Alvarez trying to get another run home. Pirates were shut out on Friday night, 1-0 in 10 innings. Put one on the board last night and only one here today. The payoff pitch. And Alvarez looks at strike 3. He thought it was ball 4. And for the 3rd time today, Pedro Alvarez down on strikes, and the Pirates strand 2 men. 6-1 St. Louis leading the Pirates heading to the bottom of the 8th inning. Check out In Case You Missed It, presented by our friends at Mazda. Ryan Howard left today's game with Washington in the first inning, sprained left ankle. Jose Bautista, Major League leading 32nd home run. Daniel Hudson, debut of the Diamondbacks today, 8 innings, 4 strikeouts, only 1 run. 14-1. Diamondbacks would clobber the Mets, and Adam Dunn, home run number 25 today, tied for second with Albert Pujols in the National League. Adam LaRoche, by the way, 2 home runs in that Diamondback victory. Here's Steven Jackson on, and he'll face Matt Holliday, Yadier Molina, Colby Rasmus. And this one deep to center. Way back and gone. Matt Holliday, home run number 20, greets Steven Jackson rather rudely with the first pitch to dead center field. It is now 7-1 St. Louis.
He thought he got one back in the second. It got caught in front of the track and right. This one up out over the plate. Just where he likes it. He likes to get extended, drive it. And he drove it.
Just a ton of strength for Holiday. Yadier Molina takes high. Jeff Clement at first base takes over for Jones. Jackson entered as part of a double switch. Clement hitting in the 9th spot. Clement had a home run last night in his first at bat, and Molina just past the outstretched glove of Neil Walker, and that's a base hit. Now, interesting with Jeff Clement last night is that he almost didn't get to hit that home run. I'll tell you that story in just a bit, but Colby Rasmus with nobody out. That pitch high and away. To left field and down the line. Tabana makes the catch right along the line. And there's one out. Here's the Aspen Dental play that made you smile. And last night, Jeff Clement at the plate, a 1-1 pitch. The slider hits him on the toe. Now he tells home plate umpire Tim McClellan it hit him. They're both from Iowa, so they're joking about it. And he says, you don't want to go to first base. And Clement says, you're right. And he hits the ball out of the yard. That is the play that made you smile from Aspen Dental. In fact, when he got to the plate, Tim McClellan, home plate umpire, leaned over to the catcher, Yadier Molina, and said, hey, Yadi, you ever hear of Marshalltown, Iowa? Molina just shook his head back and forth. No, never heard of it. Well, that's where this guy's from. And it was interesting to hear Jeff tell the story earlier today about the fact that McClellan said, yeah, I know the ball hit you on the toe, but you want to hit. You don't want me to send you down to first. And he took the 2-strike pitch over the wall. 1-1 to Ryan. Pirates trying to find a way to get him out today.
Clement got some kind of power. You know, the raw power is in there. It's just a matter of getting it out of there consistently at the big league level. And not just the power, but just the consistent approach. It remains to be seen how many opportunities he's going to get as far as at bats the rest of the way here.
He has been at first base about a year now after converting from catching. Did get to catch one game of a doubleheader in AAA. After Eric Kratz was called up, the Indians were short a catcher. Talked to Frank Crumblis, the manager, and said, look, if you need me, I can go a game. And he did. Hadn't been back there in a while. 3-1 to Ryan. Now it's 3-2. Keep an eye on Molina. Not one of the quickest runners. He stays right around first. Again, a 6-run difference at this point. 7-1 St. Louis in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Brendan Ryan at the plate with a 3-2 pitch coming. Nick Stavanoa is on deck. Good pinch hit.
As you can see, Molina over there at first by himself. Clement playing behind.
And he walked him. So this inning has not started the way that Steven Jackson wanted, giving up a first pitch home run to Matt Holliday. Molina single. And now Ryan a walk. First and second for Nick Stavanoa. Stavanoa hitting in the 8th spot for the pitcher. And it's Reyes. Stavanoa 278 as a pinch hitter. Been somewhat of a super sub for Tony La Russa.
He's a big lad. Listed at 6'2", 240 pounds.
Out of Houston, Texas, Nick Stavanoa. It's back and forth between AAA Memphis last season. And he pulls this one foul. Hit his first major league home run at Milwaukee last year, on the 26th of May. And it was off a guy who is now his teammate, Jeff Suppan, who pitched and got the win last night for the Cardinals. One pitch. That's in the dirt, blocked by Jason Jaramillo. One man is out, bottom of the 8th. 7-1. 7 runs on 12 hits. And the Cardinals finished up their recent road trip 2-4 and had problems scoring runs on the road. Had problems scoring runs Friday. They got 1 in extra innings and opened the floodgates last night and today. Popped up foul. Jaramillo will run out of room.
Stavanoa was a linebacker at the University of Houston for switching up, concentrating on baseball, where he ended up at LSU before St. Louis drafted him. Built like a linebacker.
He played in the middle. I don't know if you'd like to run right at him or not. No one fouled back. Two balls, 2 strikes. It's the count on Nick Stavanoa. Pretty good race going on in the American League East between Tampa Bay and the Yankees. That one's through to left and a base hit. Pinch hit single. Molina will stop at third, and the bases are full of bad guys here in the 8th. Tampa Bay shuts out New York today 3-0. Phil Soriano picked up his 30th save. Alex Rodriguez, who's in search of his 600th home run, didn't start. He pinch hit late in the ball game and struck out looking. And the Rays are now just a game behind the Yankees for the AL East lead. Boston trailing them. Picked up a game on New York as well. Got a walk-off win over the Tigers. Aaron Miles snaps it to left. Molina will score. Cardinals going station to station here. It is 8-1.
The majority of it has been from the bottom of this lineup too. And Miles now with 2 hits and 3 RBIs. The pitcher spot produced 3 hits and an RBI. 2 of those from the starter Wainwright.
Tonight on Inside Pirates Baseball, Andrew McCutcheon explains the reason behind the switch in his mitt. Plus, we'll take a look back at when Francisco Cordova and Ricardo Rincon no-hit the Astros. Catch all this and more Inside Pirates Baseball tonight at 10 on FSN. Steven Jackson I have to finish this inning. Nothing doing in the Pirates bullpen. Lopez the top of the order, swings and misses. 1 out, bases full, 2 runs in the inning. Lopez 0 for 3 today. Jackson delivers. That's a strike. Lopez a switch hitter. Third baseman. Spent some time with the Diamondbacks last year. And he waves and misses at that one. And goes down on strikes. That's out number 2 for the Cardinals. Now Randy Wynn will come up.
Yeah, Lopez, the only guy who hasn't done anything.
The Wynn's going to hit for John Jay. Randy Wynn starting to look like a veteran with the gray in his beard. Wynn spent a number of seasons in San Francisco rather, with the Giants. Some time in Seattle. Takes a heavy cut and misses.
It didn't work out as a Yankee.
Start of the year there. Nothing in 1 to Randy Wynn. Ball 1. One thing about him, he's never gone on the disabled list in his major league career. And he made his major league debut in 1998 with Tampa Bay. It's a long time without a DL stint.
That's impressive and lucky. Cal Ripken like. Brett Favre like.
The only time he got sidelined in his career was during his first season as a professional in Single A in Elmira, New York in 1995. Other than that, he has managed to stay healthy.
What's more impressive, Brett Favre's streak or Cal Ripken's streak?
Well, when you play every day, I mean, you can argue that back and forth, but I think when you play every day, it's more impressive. I think Cal Ripken's streak is more impressive than Brett Favre's. Jackson walks Wynn, and another run comes in. And Ryan will score for the 3rd time today. Jason LaRue, the catcher, will hit for Albert Pujols. And this will mean that defensively we'll see LaRue behind the plate. Molina will get rid of the gear and go play first base in the top half of the 9th. 9th man to hit this inning. 2 men out, bases full. 3 runs in. And a strike to LaRue. Skip Schumacher. He's the last guy on the bench. He's on deck. 1 ball and 1 strike. So the Pirates will return home tonight right after the game. Tomorrow night open up with Cincinnati for 3. And beginning Thursday, Colorado starts a 4-game series. So 7-game homestand coming up. Lots of good stuff planned for the homestand. Make sure you come out. See the Bucks and the Reds and the Rockies. And really good to see Ross Ohlendorf pitching tomorrow night. After taking that line drive off the head, just a scary thing.
Yep.
But he never went down. I mean,
no.
he reacted when the ball was hit. He was on a knee and then got up and walked off. Under his own power, never went down.
Tried to talk himself, or tried to talk John Russell and Brad Henderson, leaving him in the game.
Talked to him a couple of days ago about it. He said that's a little sort of touch, but no big deal. 3-1 down to third. Alvarez will go the short way and get the force out there. The Cardinals will put 3 up. We'll head to the top of the ninth. Last wraps for the Bucks. Village. Road ahead, Reds and Pirates. Wood and Ollendorf tomorrow night. Leake and Mahalam on Tuesday night. And then the matinee Wednesday. Johnny Cueto and Jeff Karstens. Those are the pitching matchups for the next series, where the Pirates will begin at home tomorrow night at PNC Park. Ollendorf, Mahalam, and Karstens set to go. So as expected, defensive changes for Tony La Russa. Paul Mahalam, who pitched here earlier in this series. Actually, he pitched on Thursday, beg your pardon, against Colorado. Ended up suffering the loss, having to face Ubaldo Jimenez. Now Mitchell Boggs to try to close this one out for the Cardinals. Lastings Millage will be the hitter, then Ronnie Cedeno and Jason Jaramillo. Yadier Molina's gone to first base. LaRue behind the plate. And the pitch to Millage. Misses for ball 1. There's Randy Wynn. He's in right field. Skip Schumacher out in left field. He didn't get to hit, but he puts him in. La Russa does for defense here. So some defensive changes in the ninth. And everybody gets to play today for St. Louis. Millage up the middle and a base hit. Good start to the ninth.
And away Thrillage. Boggs, hard throwing right-hander. Left the slider up to Lastings.
And a pinch hitter now for Ronnie Cedeno. Argenis Diaz, who was called up from AAA Indy, will get a chance to hit. So Diaz was hitting .248 with 8 doubles and 22 runs batted in 80 games with Indy. Second time he's been up in the big leagues this year. He came up on the 21st of April just for a couple of days and then went back. Made his big league debut on the 21st of April against Milwaukee. Grounded out as a pinch hitter against veteran LaTroy Hawkins. He will take strike 2 from Mitchell Boggs.
Had enough to face in a reliever. It's throwing in the upper 90s. And he locates a slider on you. Right on the outside corner.
And a base hit up the middle. Argenis Diaz with a base hit.
Where's the ball?
You got to give him the ball. That's his first big league hit. Tony Beasley was calling for it. Got it from Felipe Lopez. And now Delwyn Young has it in the dugout, and they'll do untold things to it.
Way to go, Diaz. A slider left right down the middle.
Back-to-back singles to start the ninth for the Bucks. Jaramillo hits one up in the air to center. Colby Rasmus under it. Nice. And out. Coming up at the conclusion of this game, it's the AGH Sports Medicine Pirates postgame show. Highlights and analysis of this one. King in studio, Kent DeColvey. They'll be breaking it down, looking back at this series and today's series finale. Looking ahead also to the Cincinnati series starting tomorrow night. Jeff Clement came back and hit a home run last night. All 6 of his home runs have been hit on the road this year. He doesn't have one at PNC Park yet. takes a strike.
98. Dialed it up. A couple of notches did Boggs.
Nothing in one to Clement. And Boggs was who Clement hit the home run off of last night. Facing him again in this series. Jeff had to get his brother to bring some clothes from Iowa down here because when he was called up so hastily, he didn't bring a suit jacket or anything. So he gets some clothes today. There is a dress code when you travel in the big leagues, and somebody put some miles on a car to get his clothes here.
I'm guessing the stores weren't open here in St. Louis yesterday.
I asked him the same question. I forgot one in Florida. I had to go buy one. Three balls and one strike. One out. And Clement fouls it back.
Maybe he didn't want to wear a red sport coat.
I'm sure he could have got one off an usher.
Nothing but red here in St. Louis.
That's all they sell. Red clothes. Like Whitey Herzog yesterday had a Cardinal red blazer. This one to left field, and that's going to get down for a hit. Clement with another base hit.
Man, that's a different swing than we saw before he got sent back to Indianapolis. I mean, that's 99 miles per hour he just turned around. That's pretty impressive stuff.
Said he made some adjustments. Said he felt a little too mechanical before he went back to AAA, and right on that one.
Yeah, 99 that was clocked. Yeah, that's a much shorter swing. Not as much length. The barrel of the bat going from A to B.
There's Dave Duncan coming out, the pitching coach. Well, Cardinals hitting coach Mark McGuire does some work, and before he took the job as the Cardinals hitting coach, had worked with a number of major league hitters, including Bobby Crosby, who the Pirates just sent over to Arizona. And just preaches that theory: short to it, long through it, short swing, get to the ball, and Mark McGuire is, I guess, in his quiet time away from the spotlight in baseball, but doing work with a number of big league hitters during the course of the winter.
Well, if you're not short to it, you're not going to survive. Not at the big league level.
The base is full of Bucks here with one out in the top half of the ninth, trailing 9-1. Mitchell Boggs pitched to Andrew McCutchen. Swinging strike. Kutch with a hit in the first. He's 1 for 4. Reached on an error.
Looking for his first career grand slam.
He does hit well with the bases full. More than half the time he'll get a hit. This time it's a roller to the shortstop. Ryan to second for one. Double play. Ball game over. And the Cardinals have swept the Pirates, winning today by a 9-1 score. Brendan Ryan, a big day. Jeff Clement showing a new swing. Hopefully signs of good things to come for him in the very near future.
Yeah, Adam Wainwright just too tough. Couldn't get anything going. Just the one run in the second inning in the bottom of the Cardinals lineup. You go 6 through 9. They produced 10 hits 6 through 9 with a couple of walks, or at least one walk, and you know that's the difference. You cannot give up big innings to the Cardinals when Wainwright or Carpenter is on the mound, and that's what we did today, and really couldn't mount anything offensively.
Our next broadcast of Pirates baseball on FSN Pittsburgh tomorrow night back home at PNC Park. The Pirates welcome in Dusty Baker's Reds. Travis Wood will face Ross Ollendorf. The Trip Total Media Pirates pregame begins our coverage at 6:30. Then Greg Brown and Steve Blass have the call for you at 7 o'clock right here on FSN Pittsburgh, bringing the game to you. Again, our final score: Cardinals 9, Pirates 1. For John Wayner and our entire FSN crew, I'm Tim Nevlett. Stay tuned. The AGH Sports Medicine Pirates postgame comes up right after the break.